Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something sick.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
It's nice to be in a place where I'm not I need this session,
Oh yeah.
That I don't need it, but it's not. There used to be a lot more. Yeah, of a feeling of need, and now it's just, all
right,
desire instead of need.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not to say that that'll never happen again, but
sounds like progress.
Yeah, the queue. Those waiting in the queue aren't quite as impatient anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the queue is being taken seriously. They see that.
Yeah. Yeah. There have been a few things that have happened recently where I'm able to just quickly acknowledge that a part is there, and it just seems it's so simple now. A lot of the time.
Yeah.
All you have to do is there's a part of me that gets really cranked up about people who drive recklessly.
Sure.
Tailgaters and weavers and stuff. And I was yesterday that happened, and I was thinking do I have to actually do a session with this part? And then I just said, yeah, that's rude. To the part, I was just that is ridiculous. I see what you're doing. And it just, all of the tension of it.
Yeah.
Just goes away as soon as you relate to it.
Yeah, it can. For a lot of parts,
I'm not saying
definitely.
it always happens that way, but certain things. Yeah, and I had, today I was at the dentist, and for some reason I had some, grief bubbling up about the loss of the pet that happened a couple months ago. And instead of just, a lot of times when something like that happens and you're in a weird space for it to happen, it's you're no, not here. But instead I was I know you're there. It just softened. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
So formerly counterintuitive and now not.
Right.
Yeah.
I think even if it's not I'm going to bring self energy to this part, just the act of noticing it suddenly it's like, oh, you're not alone.
It's just validation.
We have some communication in here, and you're not me. I have other modes of being, other parts, and it all kind of snaps you back to the reality of having parts.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I guess sometimes there's like a period of sort of coasting where nothing intense pops up, and like you know what you just said makes sense to me. It's like you kind of forget for a minute,
mm-hmm.
and then there's a reminder.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Glad it's working for you.
Yeah, it really is. There's so many, when I look back over the history of my work with you and, mostly with you, but elsewhere and with myself and etc. Like so many noticeable, real changes.
So cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And me too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think I would have this much growth potential at this age. You know?
Yeah. I don't know what your age is, but I think it's somewhere in the 30s.
I'll be 40 soon enough.
Oh, welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm going to be
all grown up
in September.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I hoped I had some growth potential because I had a ways to go, but yeah, it's interesting. I've always been changing and growing and trying and doing work and trying to find the right kind of work to do that will help myself and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely, once you find it goes way faster.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. IFS to me feels, I don't know. It's like it's a way of being. It's not just like, oh, I do this work on myself and then I try to act different or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a complete shift.
Yeah. For me, it's like, this is just true.
Yeah.
That we have parts. And so any acknowledging of that is better than not. And I see it in every other field, whatever book I'm picking up or podcast I'm listening to, I'm like, oh, they're kind of hinting around parts there. Mm-hmm. If they went a little more into it, I think they'd find a little more truth in what they're doing. And, a lot of like everything is kind of seems parts adjacent because it's such a reality for me.
Because all the podcasts have humans talking on them.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Inside Out movie?
I haven't.
It's cute.
I've been invited to. I've heard it's good, so
have you?
And maybe I will go check it out.
The first one. Did you see the first one?
I didn't.
Okay, the first one to me, a lot of people kind of referred to it as the the Parks movie or whatever,
right.
It was a cute movie, and I'm glad I watched the first one, but I was like, this is like way oversimplified, and it still is. It's a kids movie. It's not a therapy training movie, but this one was more satisfying to me, I guess. Also. And also just entertaining,
Nice.
It was a good one.
Check it out. Okay. Ready to do parts work?
I think so. Although no one's jumping up yet, but I'm sure I can I'm sure somebody will.
Okay. Well, just a reminder that we never have to, and we can talk about anything, and we can do whatever we want.
Okay. Let's do a meditation, and then I'll see if anybody reminds me that they had something to say.
Okay. How many minutes?
Let's go for 2.
Okay. All right.
All right. I had a few notions. Also, if there's ever one that you're like, we haven't gotten to this yet, I'd be open to that.
Okay.
But there's a part that jumps up sometimes. Like my parents are getting older and less able to do things, and it's scary and crazy sometimes. Actually, it's not crazy yet, but it's scary in a future casting sense. But like sometimes my other family members will jump in and help them with things, and it sometimes makes me feel like I'm not doing enough, or like I should have helped them with that already, or like, because like my sister and brother-in-law live far away, and they'll come in on their vacation and they're like, we're gonna clean out the garage, and I'm like, oh man, live here, I should have cleaned out the garage way before now, and I should have done these other things that someone else is jumping in to help with. And I just kind of feel there's somebody in there that has shame over not like constantly doing these things.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like when that happens, I'm always like, I want to jump in and tell those people like, okay, well, you stop now. I want to do the rest. I'm doing the rest or something.
Right.
And then the bad part about that is that a lot of the time, if I do that and I'm like, no, I'm gonna do the rest, and then 15 days pass or 30 days pass, and I'm like, shit, I didn't do the rest. So yeah, because days just fly by me a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I thought of while in our little meditation, although it was kind of fun to kind of recall a bunch of the other ones that we've met at the beginning of the meditation. I was just like, well, say hey to this guy and these folks and whatnot. And things seem pretty good in there, but
great.
But this one has some uneasiness and feelings of like inadequacy and fear and stuff.
Okay. Do any parts object to you trying to get to know this one?
I don't feel any resistance.
Okay. How about sensations in the body? Do you notice any of those associated with it? I can't necessarily pinpoint any sensations in the body, although I'm feeling a lot of energy in my eyebrows at the moment. But what I kind of pick up when you ask is like this
sort of frantic, frenetic energy of like a rushing kind of feeling.
Okay. Okay. How do you feel towards it?
I would say compassionate. I feel, and there's a tinge of like sorry for it though. Like, yeah, there's definitely compassion there, but there's like commiseration also. Like, this notion that it is almost impossible to keep up with everything that matters.
Okay.
Is coming up.
Okay.
This is tied to something else. Like, before I heard from you today, I was kind of thinking like, what am I gonna work on today?
Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't feel quite as emotional as what I was just referring to. So that's why I went with that. But there's a part that just always is miffed about the fact that it's impossible to keep up with everything that matters. Like, all the things that I actually do value, whether they be like daily or wannabe daily habits, or keeping up with people, or communicating with people that I care about, etc. It's like I can get on a kick and be on top of a couple things,
right?
But there's never a feeling that whatever kick I'm on right now is crowding out some other thing.
Yeah.
And I'm getting better at just, kind of telling myself like, okay, well, we'll get back on that kick soon too. But yeah, there's a part of me that's just like so displeased with the fact that it can't all fit like in a way that feels complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When you first started talking about helping your parents, something you said was, I'm not doing enough. And that might have had you talked about shame, that might have a different emotional flavor, but I hear in all of this, can't keep up, not doing enough, not time for it all. They all have that kind of element.
Yeah. And I try to pull back on work stuff and create more time, and the time just goes. Whatever time I create just goes.
Yep.
It feels better to not, be working myself to death, although I work myself to near death sometimes. Complete exaggeration, but you know what I mean. But yeah, even if I make more time, it doesn't seem like, it's still not enough. And I'm fully aware that it never will be, probably. Like, this is modern humaning. This is how it goes. But there's a part that's real, just that still must be holding on to an idea that I should be able to do everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can get that part, get its attention, make it aware of you.
the image that I get, but it was a real flashy, like it was like someone surrounded by like stacks of paper that are bigger than they are. I don't know yet. Female, male, they, them, or who, but
yeah. Do you notice anything else about them? Their energy, their...
They seem very alone and very sparing. Like inundated and yeah, just spread too thin, it looks like.
Yeah.
That's the energy of it.
Okay.
And
yeah.
hopeless like.
Okay. Yeah. You could just let them know that you're here. They don't have to be alone. Ask them what they want you to know.
Let me try to get settled. Something's going. Ping pong balls bouncing around or something. And it's like a dark, like on like a movie where they've kind of messed with the colors and it's like black and white, but not quite. There's like some little bits of color, but it's a very gray kind of world. It's room. It has windows, but there's so much of the stacks of paper that it doesn't matter that much that there are windows and it's gray outside anyway. And this part's just wants to kind of give up, but it seems to know that it can't do that. It seems, yeah, I'm going to say now it's she. It's like kind of flopped onto the floor sort of dramatically, like, oh, it's like just kind of throwing a little fit about how impossible.
Yeah. And are you feeling welcoming of her expression?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, let her know that.
There's a part that I just saw like in the room with her that I brought up several sessions ago. I haven't really seen very much of, but there was one time where we were doing some work and I was in this dark place and there were 3 doors and one of them had a window in it. And I looked in and there was this creature in there that looks like a scribble. It's like a little messy creature that my interpretation of him, I just call him Scribbles.
Okay.
Kind of like Linus. Is that the one from whatever the hell?
Yeah, Pigpen.
Was that the one? Yes. The one with the cloud around him or whatever.
Yeah. Linus played piano, I think.
Okay.
No,
yes.
that was Schroeder. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You know this way better than I do.
I was in the play.
I forgot there even was you were in the play?
As a kid.
Who were you?
I was Schroeder, but I couldn't play the piece well enough, so the music director played it for me.
Okay.
I figured it out eventually.
That sounds cute.
Okay. Scribbles
is the way that I interpret this part and what the feelings are is just like, it's like kind of a shame around being messy, which, I mean, if any of my friends heard me say that, they would laugh because I keep things very organized and stuff, but I'm constantly making a mess and cleaning it up, making a mess and cleaning it up. And like, I think it's more about my behavior than my environment. Like I feel like a mess a lot of the time. And there's Scribbles he's not embarrassed, but there are parts of me that don't want others to see him.
Got it.
They're like, don't let anybody see, this of your like erratic behavior or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. He just kind of ran by in that room, and I think he's related to these feelings of like, not being able to get to everything. I guess it's like a type of mess.
Yeah.
So he's like adjacent to that.
The room with papers sounded messy as you described it.
Well, yeah, I guess it's all stacked. It's all stacked up in tall stacks. It's not like a big, jumbled up pile. It's just stacks and stacks of papers.
Okay. Scribbles is noted.
Scribbles is there.
And if Scribbles wants to add anything, he can. If he has anything he wants to share with us or wants to explain more about his connection with this room of papers and the part in there.
I don't know. That Scribbles just seems kind of mischievous in a way. I just think maybe he was kind of adjacent to these feelings.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how to put it out in words, but it makes sense that they might be there together.
Okay. You want to get back to the one in the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Scribbles doesn't feel inadequate, but I think that others, like I said, others want to hide him, and maybe they want to hide this part too. Like,
right.
Yeah. Or that whole like jumping up and being like, oh, I'll do this and I'll do that or whatever is another way of like kind of hiding inadequacy or messiness.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you could check that out with the part with the papers. Is inadequacy one of the feelings it has?
Yes, it's like, of course it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's the part now, it's kind of funny. Like, have you ever had like a big old crying fit and then at some point you just kind of start laughing even though you're still sad? Okay. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like the part is laying on the ground and it's kind of not in a ball, but just kind of like laying on its side, kind of curled up and totally like spent of energy. Still kind of despairing, but there's like smiles cracking, if you will. Like feels like it's kind of almost joking when you ask that question. Like, of course it's inadequate or whatever.
Well, I'm smiling too because I really appreciate getting to know it and appreciate its clarity and sharing its feelings with me.
Yeah.
Does this part do any protecting of other parts? Does it have a job? Does it work hard? Or is it more?
Hold on. sometimes I have these like trippy, I've said it before, but like when you look into the face of the part and there's like some like kind of physical like shuddering type stuff that happens when I do that. It's like, yeah, there's like that. I don't know how to describe it. It's not fear. It's like there's an intensity there that. The part seems to be reluctant to. I get the feeling that there are other parts behind it, but it doesn't yet seem to want to show them to me or tell me
That's
about.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you just got here.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to move along.
Yeah,
I wasn't trying to move along.
I
I was looking for protective roles that it might have. And if it feels like it works hard or if it just feels like it's burdened.
It feels like it works hard, but it also feels like it is pointless to work hard. Because look at all the stacks.
Right. Makes sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in the context of the, not being able to keep up with everything.
Would it be helpful to ask about the stacks, about how does it get like this, or kind of addressing the nature of the stacks to this part?
Well, at first when you said that, she was just kind of like the usual sort of, well, life is overwhelming and there's like this and that. And, it's like naming off all the different categories of stuff to try to pay attention to or do regularly or whatever. And then after that, she started just like kind of going buck wild and like messing up all the stacks. Like if she had a baseball bat, she would swing it at it, but instead she's just flailing her arms and like knocking all the papers down.
Okay. Does it feel like that would be like in opposition to some other part? Like you mentioned kind of having like, oh, I can do it part. Does it feel like one part sets it up and this part's ready to knock them down kind of thing?
No, I don't know. What I get is that this part wants to be able to stay on top of everything.
Yeah.
Feels that is hopeless and therefore is knocking all this stuff over.
Okay.
I guess it's like when I came into the room, she realized that. That it is, realized that she hadn't left the room in a long time. Realized that no matter how much tending she does to all these stacks, it's never going to be like, isn't it? They're never going to stop growing. And yeah, she's just, I guess because now there's a witness in the room, she's like, wants to kind of put on a little show or something, like,
okay,
I'm going to I'm going to fuck all this up or whatever.
Yeah.
She's just trying to show that she's mad.
Oh, good.
Mad
Good.
about not being able to keep up.
Yeah. Showing feelings. Awesome.
Yeah.
Really important.
Yeah. She's like, I just heard like a song lyric about, yeah, like things just keep getting more and more. It's just as you age, as others age, there's just more and more things that you kind of have to do. And a lot of it, it's not pointless, but ultimately, in the long run, you're just spinning plates. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like all these different things, for example, that you do to try to like keep your body healthy are eventually, going to fail at some point.
Yeah.
And that's just
the body will fail, but
the body
you'll
will
get the rewards for the effort you put in.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
Yeah, I know that. I get that, but this part is just like there's just going to be more and more and more to do.
Yeah.
More and more and more that has to be done. And then like, yeah, here's some emotion coming. It's like, and then now with my parents getting older, that is just an unknown number of things that will need to be tended to as well. And like the consequences for not tending to them feel somehow like emotionally more costly than not tending to myself.
Okay. Would it feel okay to learn more about that?
Yeah. Now the part is hiding behind some of the stacks of paper.
Yeah.
I think that topic is hard for this part.
Yeah. Sounds like it. With the emotion that's coming through, and
yeah,
these are the bigger stakes, right? People's health, and then this idea of comparing the work that you're doing for your parents versus yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like I've always thought that like just keeping up with everything that in my own singular life is a lot. And then to feel, and I mean, I support people and stuff. Like I'm not just, I don't mean to imply that I'm only tending to myself ever, always, but I mean, I do a lot of things for other people, but I've never felt like responsible for others in the way that I feel like I should be.
Okay.
for them.
Okay.
And it just feels like
Yeah. It sounds really big.
Yeah.
What we're talking about, what this part is sharing.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go there if it doesn't want to go there. Also, how's your connection with the part?
She just asked me, like, what are we gonna do?
How would it feel to just ask her, like, what she needs for her from you? Like, those other questions are important.
Yeah.
What does she need from you?
As is often the case, I feel like I get kind of a soup of answers.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was like, I need to take a nap. And then she's like, I need to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I don't know what I need from you.
Okay.
I get the feeling that she's like, aren't you supposed to? Not you, but me.
Sure.
I get the feeling
Sure.
that she's kind of like, aren't you supposed to like know what to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, in some ways, I feel like the answer is yes, I am supposed to know what to do, but
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily for her. Like, the best way to find out what to do for her is for her to tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that. And if nap and outside are the first thing that comes up, and I wonder if she's saying, well, I don't know. Like maybe she's kind of still referring to like all that stuff that she says needs to be tended to.
Yeah.
And yeah, that can be a separate question. We can separate those a little bit.
I get the feeling, and I just saw an image of her like just continuous yelling and just running out the door of this room and leaving me there by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I get the feeling that she's like, why don't you take care of all this shit?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
what I need from you is what she needs from me is for her not to be in charge of that shit.
Okay.
Is the feeling that I get from that image.
And how would she feel about you? How would she feel about your continuing to have a connection with her so that when she's outside napping in the hammock or whatever, that the window's open and
well, she's outside the room, like outside, still yelling and running around in circles.
Mm-hmm. I guess what I was asking is, does she want to get away from you?
I don't feel that.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't think she wants to get away from me, but I don't think she could leave the room unless someone else was there.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't, and I thought you might get that impression that she was like trying to get away from me, but I didn't get that depression. It was like she's kind of smiling as she yellingly runs out of the room, and then just she's out in like the yard of this place.
Awesome.
Running in circles and yelling.
Great.
I think she's
going to really earn that nap.
Yeah. Yeah. A hammock sounds nice. That was a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're a hammock guy.
Mm-hmm.
You still sleep in a hammock every day?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. So I'm putting a hammock there.
Great.
I had to make some trees first. There weren't any. I hope she'll appreciate that. And like, that was a good, I like the idea of the window being open. So I'm just seeing myself. I'm in there with all the stacks of the stuff and scribbles. And she's out there yelling and running. And I'm just kind of like out the window waving. And she waves back, but doesn't stop.
Okay.
Yeah. So now there's just this big room full of papers.
Yep. A big room of papers. There's scribbles. And there are also some of the things that she was talking about before she ran out, like never felt responsible for others in the way that I should be.
Yeah.
Just thinking about different things you could attend to.
Okay. Can you give me another hint?
It's not a hint. It's just the list of what's left on my notepad from after she runs out. I think we're left with scribbles, stack of papers, and whatever she was alluding to, or those other feelings that might have been, deeper or other parts around this one or something.
Yeah. I mean, like, Scribbles seems pretty well adjusted. Seems strange to say, but like he seems companionate.
Mm-hmm.
What I get from him is that he doesn't appreciate being hidden. Doesn't like that other parts try to hide him from the world, but he seems to be like, he seems to feel like my buddy. Like when she ran out of the room, I looked over at him and he like held up his hands, like shrug, like, I don't know.
Okay.
And then he like jumped up on top of one of these stacks of papers and actually gave me a hug.
Okay.
So yeah, he seems okay. But like I said, I think he's just happy not to be in that place where I first saw him, where he was like locked in a completely dark place.
Mm-hmm.
So like this room full of the stacks of papers, even though it's not the most cheerful place in the world, is like an upgrade for him.
Okay. Does he have an ideal place?
It's interesting. I don't get that he has an ideal place. He just wants to not be closed off. He wants to be allowed to go outside and allowed to like interact with others instead of being like, which I mean, in a way, and I'm not arguing with him, but I'm like, I do let people see my messiness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's definitely a part that's like, I don't know, doesn't want others to see like how erratic I can be on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah, I think you earlier were saying something like shame around that I'm a mess.
Yeah, it's like how I don't know how to describe it, but I know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Just how non-structured sometimes my like how I go about doing things around the house or
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Scribbles feels like he's a secret.
Yeah.
But like people who know me, I'm forever transparent about myself. I don't know. He just wants to hang out with me. That's what I get. Is like he's like, I just want to like be a sidekick.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I get from him.
Okay. Any parts coming up to object to that?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I'm just in this like big room of the papers and he's there seeming like my little pal. And there's a part of me that is like, well, what are we supposed to do in this room? Or can everybody leave this room?
Does he have an opinion on that or any feelings about the papers? Or are they just
the part
Scribbles part?
He does not seem concerned about the papers.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know why. I don't know why he showed up in this particular.
Great. Okay.
There he is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with the scene. Like, I guess there's a part that comes in that says, well, somebody has to organize all of this or, tend to whatever these stacks of papers are.
Okay. Would it be useful to learn more about what exactly these stacks of papers are?
I think they just they represent. I'm thinking, let me just not do that. Well, I am going to say, I can't believe I didn't say this or think about it before, but right before I got on this phone call, and leading up to it, I had ordered this thing called a knock box. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Okay. It's NOK. It stands for next of kin box.
Okay.
And it's like an organizational system for all of your like important shit, papers, keys, etc. And I bought one for myself and one for my parents. And my intention is to help my dad like put this thing together. So what it is like, then if something happens to you, everything is there for your next of kin.
Yeah.
You take care of business, to pay your bills, to, whatever. Because my mom doesn't know anywhere. I mean, like she doesn't take care of any of that stuff and hasn't for 50 years. So like, I don't even know, like if something happened to my dad, I don't even know how we would pay their power bill. Like we don't know their account number. So I feel like just reminding, I don't know who it is that I'm reminding in there because it's just me and Scribble standing here now. But I did hear like this voice of, well, someone needs to deal with all these papers.
Yeah.
And I think, they're metaphorical stacks of papers that represent all the different things I'm trying to keep keep on track of. But I think it's also this project that I've, those packages arrived like 20 minutes, or I got home and them on the porch like 20 minutes before I got on you.
Yep.
So in a way, I feel like I'm just sending a message to the system like, hey, I am doing some stuff. Like, I am trying to do this. But earlier sorry, go ahead.
Well, it sounds to me like the plan is find the most important things out of a stack of papers and put them in one spot so that it can, so you can have the most important things, and if everything else disappears or can't access it or whatever, that'll be okay.
This is super interesting. So like while you were talking, a big, huge smile was forming across my face, because I'm really glad that I was like stopped to let you speak, because what you were saying, for whatever reason, whatever what you just said about finding the most important things, as you were saying that, all of a sudden, I saw the room that I had been standing in, and there was like sunshine in it, and like a bunch of different characters from my system were all in there, like going through stacks and like holding up, this is important. And some of them are like dusting and okay, they're all like, a bunch of the team is in here doing what you're saying. And they all look,
that's so awesome.
They all look pretty happy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Something is important. Something different is important to each of them.
Yeah.
And their energy all matters, and there's space for all of them.
Yeah. And I mean, not every single one of them is going to get a piece of time every single day, but nobody's going to be closed off in a room by themselves.
Right.
Okay. There's plants in the room now?
Yeah, you got all that sunshine. You might as well make some use of the extra space. Beautify it.
Yeah, I have no idea how much time has passed since we got on, but I feel like this is pretty perfect.
It sounds really good. Yeah.
There's like a filing cabinet now. Yeah. Okay. And that other part is just like, well, bye, y'all.
The part that ran outside?
Yeah. I mean, not bye, y'all, not like you guys suck, but she's out there
doing what's important to her.
She's like in that hammock that you suggested. Oh, it's a hammock from Uncle James. She's chilling there now.
Awesome.
She's like, what's important to me is that I don't have to hang out in there by myself. Okay, yeah. She's like totally, she looks very relaxed. She's like got a beverage. I don't know where that came from either, but seems pleased. Everybody seems cooperative in there.
Okay.
That was an interesting turn of events. I'm always just like, what do I do next? And then sometimes something just comes.
Sounds great. Yeah. I'll send you the call. We can listen back.
Thank you.
Sounds really great. And Yeah. I think, the only thing left that I would think to bookmark is, yes, some of that other emotional stuff that was coming up that might be paths towards exiles for future work.
Agreed. Definitely.
Awesome. Great work.
I will try to remember that for next time.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get to them, whoever that is.
Okay. I'll make note of it too.
Thank you.
Okay.
This was
Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, James.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.